Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. Today we're going to be kind of reviewing set number 75348. So we have the Mandalorian Fang fighter and the TIE Interceptor. So this is actually the second TIE Interceptor I've gotten out of all the sets that I've collected. I know that they had done one earlier. Last one I got is actually it's a red colored one. I think it's from one of the more kids TV shows. I can't think of the name of it, but I know that they were kind of doing some racing in that. Like I said, the name kind of escapes me. But so as we look over this, the TIE Interceptor. I'm sorry. The connections here are kind of interesting. We're using more Technics than what we ever used before. We used to use some of the other connectors that would kind of click into place, so that would kind of work pretty well. This keeps it a little bit more rigid. It does wobble a little bit more, but it is on there very nice and sturdy. We have the standard cockpit set up here, so I can open this all up and we can see inside. I believe I can get. I haven't tried putting a figure in here yet. I put it together, but I didn't try to get anyone in there. So I'll take his little gun out of there. Oh boy! All right, so he does fit in there pretty good. It closes up all right. Folds down. So yeah, that sits pretty good. It's a little different from the other one that I have because I remember. This was kind of built a little differently, but it works out pretty good. Spinning this around, this is all kind of done up differently because we actually have the Technic in there. From I can kind of look over and I can actually see my other one as it's sitting there hanging. And the back is a little different from what my old ones were. I think this is more of what they're kind of going with. But it still has just the 2 ion drives. That's why it's a TIE, twin ion drive fighter. So, and it works pretty good. It looks pretty good. I guess the only concern I have is how well I'm going to be able to hang it, because I'm kind of running out of room. So I'm kind of thinking I might try to hang it from the ceiling, like I do with my other one. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. The set comes with 3 figures, so 1 droid and then a Mandalorian. Well, actually 4. I'm sorry, because I got 1 Mandalorian inside the cockpit here. I've got the TIE pilot, the droid, and a Mandalorian commander. The Mandalorian commander, when I was opening up the bags, he's got a Mandalorian handgun. We have 2 Imperial blasters. And I was fortunate, I have 2, looks like we're going with the dark sabers. So if you wanted to have the dark sabers, so that works out pretty good. The Fang fighter though is very flat. So as far as that goes, it really shouldn't take up all that much room. So I guess in my mind, I'm kind of guessing this would work very well if you had like a rack system to hold fighters in. You know, you could almost have a couple racks for holding these if you had multiples. The price of the set was a little bit more than I was originally thinking about getting, and I was kind of on the fence of getting this for a while because it's $100, but you are getting 2 fighters. So as far as that goes, I guess it kind of evens out. I have an easier time jumping onto fighters that are a little less expensive. If you remember correctly, I had picked up 2 of the pirate snub fighters, and those weren't overly expensive in my mind, so I had jumped on 2 of those, and I knew I'd like to have something to kind of chase after. Our Fang fighter has 3 engines. That looks pretty good. Let's see, I want to say that there's a box in here, but I don't really remember. And I know I put it together 2 days ago. So as I'm trying to fit time in to do all this while I'm getting everything done, we have missile launchers right here. So the missiles do fit in there. I only got 3 missiles. Kind of looking down here, I only had 3 missiles. So however you wanted to do it, we have 2 missile launchers right here, so if you wanted to put them in there, or if you want to fit them in here, because they would actually fit, like a lot of the TIE fighters, they would actually fit right there. So if you wanted to put them in that spot, that would work as well. Usually, and I've said this before, I like to leave the missiles out. I don't like to have them shoot off on me by accident if the spring kind of gives way or whatever else, and I usually stay away from that, because to me these are a little bit more models. So you know, I look at it a little differently. I like to think about how this works for the kids for play. So that works out pretty good. This cockpit opens up pretty decent. I don't know how well you can see in here, and I'm trying to hold this. So we actually have like a steering yoke there. We have a little dash computer, so that way you can kind of do whatever he's got to do. I don't know if this would actually have a hyperdrive onto it or not. So however you wanted to play and imagine that to be, that would be fine. I know that typically when you're talking about your TIE Interceptor, it doesn't have the hyperdrive, so really when you look at it, you know, it's pretty much just like a regular TIE fighter. It is a little bulkier here in the wing pylons, but there is no extended hyperdrive like in the TIE X or some of the other fighters that would have a hyperdrive on there. So that works alright, but you know, this is meant to go after anyone that's trying to attack the capital class starships and all that anyway, so that works out pretty decent. But I think it's a pretty decent set. This wobbles a little bit more than I expected it to, because my other ones were really solid in that regard, but using the Technics, I think it does lighten it up a little bit. I think it works pretty good. It's just a little different. We actually have some Technic struts that are in here that hold all this together, our pylons, onto our panels here. So that works pretty well. I don't have any complaints about that. It's just, like I said, I mean, you can kind of see it wobble a little bit, but that's not a big deal. I'm always one that likes the astromech droid, so I think the droid looks pretty decent too. Having a different colored commander, I think I might put him onto a bigger ship if I can. Both of the Mandalorians actually had the rocket pack with which would be a missile launcher right here in the center, based off of the same kind of mold that they had done for Boba Fett way back when. So, and then the pistol, I don't know if you remember this or not, but it's all squared off, and if I remember correctly, that's the same type of pistol that they had kind of developed for Star Wars Rebels for Sabine. I believe she had a pistol very blocky like that, so, and that works out fine. I don't have any issues with that. It looks fine. It looks different, because this is our standard pistol here that we have for the Empire. It's got a little scope on top, so all in all, I think it's a pretty decent set. I don't have too many issues with it. I think I've already said, you know, just the little bit of a wobble here. I could see somebody getting a couple different sets of this, and if you're trying to do a space station or maybe like a dock or something like that, like I said, to build some shells so you could actually have this staged up, you know, one on top of another or so. I think that could very easily work. And I don't know if you remember any of this stuff from any of the movies, but quite often they would actually have the TIE fighters, if they weren't landed on the ground, they would literally hang them from the rafters, and they would actually have a scaffolding that would go across, so that way you could walk along and then drop into your TIE fighter. So I think that works pretty good. All in all, it's a pretty decent set, I think. I really do. So, well, thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching Rebel Brick. Hope you have a good day, and keep bricking.